Welcome to video 3. We've seen in the last two videos that identity is complex. It's much more than where we are from. It involves a multitude of individual, cultural and social aspects, and it can change over time. To give an obvious example, a university student like Tom is not the same person he was at age 8. Not only has he changed physically, but many of his interests are different. He has more knowledge and his values have changed. Compared to when he was younger, he now identifies with many more people beyond his own family and community. In the last video, we looked at how Tom sees himself, but how do other people perceive Tom today? And how does he perceive others? In this video, we will explore this question of mutual perception. When other people look at Tom, they usually notice his physical attributes first. For you, this might be your height, your skin colour, your eye shape, your smile, or maybe your hair. And how does this change depending on the context? When Tom was at home in Peru with his family, he blended in. But during Tom's online exchange, he found that he stood out, and in the eyes of the others, he was the South American guy. It's very easy to pick out one aspect of someone's identity, whether visible or not, and decide that they are completely different. It is also common to say, it doesn't matter, or everyone is equal. But sometimes these things do matter a little, or a lot. So we might be or seem different, but another part of our multiple identities is the image we ourselves try to create. It could be how we behave, what we say and don't say. Tom presents himself as male, tends to wear a smart casual style, keeps his hair cut short, and often uses hand gestures when he speaks. He likes to laugh and doesn't usually give his opinion, unless it's about how much he loves sushi. Tom adapts his behaviour, how he looks and acts, depending on whether he is at an interview for a job, with friends in a bar, or getting out of bed on the weekend. What else affects mutual perception? Well, what we perceive is influenced not only by the situation, but also by how our brain processes and evaluates this information. We pick up on some cues more than others to help simplify and make sense of what we see. Our mind works really hard to put people into categories that are familiar to us. This may be a necessary survival instinct, but it limits how we view another person, and that's called implicit bias. What's more, we respond to different looks or behaviours in different ways, almost evaluating and perhaps even judging. Think about the varying symbolic meanings of clothing, or hairstyles, or how laughter can suggest intimacy or mockery. How does your expectation of normal behaviour in a classroom influence your perception of another student in that setting? When we evaluate others in this way, it's sometimes because we are unaware of our own cultural values and behaviours. For example, if Lisa doesn't realise that her idea of polite conversation involves turn-taking without interrupting people, she will quickly label Tom as impolite if he doesn't follow these hidden rules she has. In fact, stereotypes may reveal more information about the person who is stereotyping than the targeted group. So, if Lisa considers Tom rude, it gives us information about her implicit turn-taking values and not necessarily Tom's rudeness. Before trying to figure out other people or groups, why not take a moment to identify your own personal values, priorities, expectations and biases, and worldview? Let's not forget that our perception is not neutral, but it's influenced by power relationships, including gender, race, hierarchy, role, physical attractiveness or intelligence. It's too long to go into in this video, but before we move on to address communication, let's remember that in spite of our best efforts, we do not necessarily perceive each other neutrally. There are a lot of power issues in how we see or choose to see and label each other. What advantages or disadvantages are there in being considered Catholic or white, for example? Are we trying to fit in with a dominant identity, gain an advantage, or very subtly make ourselves feel superior to someone else? To conclude this video, our self-awareness is essential. If we think back to videos 1 and 2, our identity includes who we are, where we come from, and what groups we identify with. Yet, our mutual perception is built on the experiences we've had and the values we've implicitly or explicitly adopted. This influences our behaviour, which in turn influences our communication in a variety of intercultural contexts. Managing that communication is what we'll look at in the next set of videos.